when you decided to make that shift, did you keep your salons open, in the business, or you said, hey, I'm selling, I'm exiting, and I'm just going to focus on this 100%? At what point did you know that, all right, I'm tunneling in on this? Like, how did that happen for you?
Right after joining World System Builder and really, taking this thing and really running full-fledged. I mean, I gave it everything I got. I'm a hustler by nature, right? So yeah. I'm a go-getter. I'm going to make it happen, okay? After I made $70,000 part-time my first year, I was like, I'm out of here.
Say, listen to that. If you listen, 70K part-time, that's, hey,
That's when I made the decision that I wanted to work smarter and not harder.
Yeah.
That I wanted to help people leave that legacy of generational wealth. I wanted them to learn how money works. I wanted them to know. And I remember I was successful. I was making this money.
Yeah.
But nobody had ever really taught me about money, and I needed to learn from myself. I had a daughter in college at the time, and I was like, how can I teach my daughter something that I don't know? I want to break that generational curse. See, what we always do, we always say, oh, well, my mom, and no, it can be broken.
That's right.
See, the resources weren't available back then, but the resources are available now.
That's right.
It's up to us if we're going to be the change that we want to see. And I wanted to be that change. And it only takes one person.
Look, you said, you mentioned even the process of being a business owner, right? Like working in the salon. Like I remember, after school, go to my dad's shop. I sit there, maybe I'm in the back watching some TV or something. We're there till, late at night, whatever time. Every weekend, on the weekend, he used to try to shut it down kind of early. It's like, maybe half a day or something like that on a Saturday. But, pretty much every day you're in the shop, you're on your feet the entire time, you're running. And it's great, with the social aspect, but that's a lot of work. So you say, hey, look, I'm going to trade that. And then I'm going to do something where I can be, a little bit more efficient, a little bit more flexible. Now, I think it was obviously was a smart decision for you. And, you coming from that career, are there aspects you feel that prepared you for the insurance industry?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As far as the prospecting, you have to talk to people. You have to have relationships with people. I've always had, built great relationships with people for referral purposes and even for longevity of clientele. And so I think that that's definitely helped me. And then I owned a salon. So, I had a lot of booth renters other stylists who rented booths from me, building those relationships, working with those people. Those are all things that definitely built me for today. Right now, I have about 24 licensed agents who work with me. They don't work for me. We work together. And, just trying to show them the way that this is a great career. And the same thing that I did. I can tell you that I still talk to even the stylists that I mentioned many, many years ago. We're still good friends to this day. And I appreciate the fact that they took my advice and they did exactly what I asked them to do, because, even the Bible talks about how the old should teach the young. And so we've been there, we've done that. And I had to give them, what I learned so that they wouldn't make the same mistakes that I made. I want them to be better than me. And so, yeah, I think that, their industries are very similar. For me, I just knew that the relationships, that's what takes people a long, long way. Building relationships with people in and out of business, and being respected and just being honest. I have a business partner. He says this all the time, Rod. He says, people don't care about how much you know. They only care about how much you care.
That's right.
So show people that you care for them. And that's what I've always tried to do, is just to show people how much I really care about them and how much I want them to win. We're not winners unless everybody's winning. And let's be honest, everybody is not winning.
This is true. 100%. 100%. So let's go back and just kind of recap some of the things that you talked about that are valuable traits that you learned in your business. So the prospecting aspect, developing the relationships, the work ethic, obviously, for what
discipline, being disciplined.
Being disciplined, all of those things being a factor. So someone said to you, you would be a good insurance agent, how would you define what those qualities are? How would you say, if you would say, hey, look, there are 4 things that a good insurance agent should have, or a good insurance professional, what would you say that they would be?
A people person. You have to love people.
Okay.
You have to be able to be a good listener, because a lot of times people listen, but they're not. They're here, but they're not listening. So, you know, being attentive and listening to hear what your client's needs are. You know, not what you want, but what they really need.
Yes.
I would also say, you know, being a person of integrity. You know, integrity is really good, big in our industry. You know, people are afraid and they don't understand insurance, and they think that everything is a scam, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to be able to articulate and really share with them how powerful it really is. It's not about just a death benefit or anything like that. I mean, like, I can tell you story after story, even right now, that how insurance, while people have lived, and how it's really saved their lives, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and all the great benefits that it has. So I think, and to me, it was a great honor for somebody to even introduce me. Now looking back, Rod, to say that somebody thought that I would be in a good insurance person in the industry, it just shows the level of respect. It shows the level of integrity and how they really felt about me. Because now, looking at 7 years into the industry, I'm like, wow, you know, and what it really takes to be, you know, a good insurance person. You know, we talked about it earlier, right? Everybody can do this, but everybody can't do it, right? You can get the license, but can you really be effective and provide the level of service and the level of integrity in this business that will make you successful?
That's right. That's right. So, you know, speaking of, so being a good listener, being integrous, you know, respecting others, you know, being able to be someone who can be worthy of the respect of others as well in return. Let's talk about like your first year, like when you first got started. Okay, so you say, hey, look, I'm going to get licensed. I'm going to get into this business. Now you mentioned, you know, the money that was made on a part-time basis, but we know that that's not easy, right?
No, it's not.
So let's talk about what that experience was like in the first year.
So this is what I always tell people too. The money is good, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to kid you. The money is great, because remember, I was still working in the salon.
Yes.
But that number represents the number of people I've helped, the number of people that I've really, you know, so people always focus on the money. The money is a byproduct of what we do. When I tell you I hustle. I'm constantly making phone calls. The fortune is in the follow-up. I'm constantly, you know, speaking to people. I'm constantly interacting with people. No matter where I go, I tell them who I am and what I do and how I can help them. So I'm constantly talking to people. Most people don't want to do that, because you know what people say about our industry? Oh, I don't like to sell. Let me tell you something, Rod Powell. Either you selling or you being sold to. Which one you want to be?
There you go. That's it. No, I love it. I love it.
That's it. I'd rather sell to you than being sold to. I mean, you need this. I'm not giving you something that you don't need. So yes, I did hustle that first year, and I'm steady hustling. I hustle every single day.
Yes.
Because if I don't, somebody is going to go without. Somebody's life is not going to be changed. Somebody's family is not going to have a roof over their head. They're not going to have food on the table, because they're going to lose their loved one. And nobody ever talked to them about getting some life insurance. Nobody ever talked to them about building a strong financial foundation. And the foundation, the groundwork, is the life insurance.
You know, listen, I was going to ask you, you know, how do you stay motivated, right? Even after having the success, but I hear it. I can hear
passionate.
It.
I'm passionate.
Yes, yeah, and you've taken your passion in this business, and you've made it, once again. Definitely, it's not about just money for you. You know, it's about really impacting people, adding value, and really impacting our community as a whole. Can you talk about a little bit about that and how that's kind of evolved over the course of your career?
Absolutely. So, being in this industry, even with my organization, World System Builder, I see it's very diverse, and I can appreciate the diversity, but one thing I have to be honest is that, during the times of George Floyd and, all the cases that were happening in the world, it was very stressful for the community. But I always said that we had an economics problem, because all of those things would not be happening if our economics, were in order, right? And so my company, which I love to death, World System Builder, we're on this national campaign for financial literacy, but they did a video, and it was a diversity video. But I didn't see me, and I didn't see you. And so I made a comment on our Facebook, page where they posted it, and I got a response from our head coach's daughter, Alicia Wynn, who is a beautiful spirit, and she said, Toni, I wanted to do something, I just didn't know what to do. Well, and we collaborated, we came together, and we created a beautiful video to show the diversity within our organization with the African American community. I've always had a passion for my community. But the problem that I see in the Black community is, I don't know if we have a passion for our own selves.
Come on.
I can't want something more for you than you want for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we created this video, and then we created a group of Black financial professionals in our organization, and we're about 500 strong right now. And I did that because I wanted to, show them that we too can have a seat at the table, but it requires hard work. See, a lot of times we want the accolades and we want all the things, but we don't want to put in the work that it takes to get there. And so now I'm telling them, no, we have to put in the work. You have to put up the numbers. You have to do this in order to do it. And we have to get to our community. Now, it's no fault of their own, but I have to say this because it was what I feel in my heart and what I see. African Americans will go and be with someone else, meaning other communities, which is nothing wrong with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we try to get them to come with us, everything is a scam. Well, I'm doing the same thing that Joe Blow was doing. How we partners, but it's not a scam.
Yeah.
Now, but the difference is you'll go over there, but they won't come over here.
Yeah. We know.
And it's real, and people don't want to have that conversation. But
yeah, because the ice is colder. The ice is colder. Yes. Yeah. No, it's a.
So Rod, you know what? Let me tell you something. Let me just say this. In order for us to be the change that we want to see, in order for us to change the narrative in our community, we must see ourselves.
That's right.
We need more people in this industry that look like you and me. We do the same thing that everybody else does. Yeah. And in some cases, we do it better.
Yeah. There's an organization. I know they have a Dallas chapter, and I'm not sure if they have Houston. I'm not sure if there's one in Houston, but NAIA, National African American Insurance Association, they put out a report a few years ago, which was called The Journey. It was actually a study that was conducted by a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Leroy Nunnery, and Dr. Leroy Nunnery 2. Got to put the 2 behind it. And in this study, it talks about just some of the percentages of African Americans that you see in the industry. There's 2.9 million professionals in the insurance industry, and only 12% are actually African American. When you get into agency managers, principals, executives, that reduces down to 3%. So you're 100% spot on when you say that. Hey, there's just like a lack of representation. I know when I came into the business, we not just have to work hard, but we have to work twice as hard, or sometimes 3 times as hard, in order to be seen the same, right? You can. I've walked into a place where, I might have a suit on, and someone is with me and they got polo and khakis on. They're thinking, and this person reports to me, they thinking I report to them just because of some unconscious bias, right?